This is flower therapy for my pet cat Luna. Although I'm beginning to think it's getting on her nerves. Just let her relax now. Hey crew, welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local lightworker, but today I will be your resident rosy omencer because I will be interpreting patterns of energy which I see in Peony Petals to try to uncover your past life love story. So this is a subscriber's requested reading. You guys have loved a couple of the previous past life love stories in Oracle and Tarot interpretations that I created for you. So somebody suggested, why don't I do one with flower petals? And I thought that was such a neat idea, so I thought, let's try it out. Let's see if I can glean insights regarding the details, the people, the characters, the environment, the scenarios that constituted at least one of your past life, because you guys know that if you are an old soul especially, you actually could be having a variety of past lives. So I have the peony petals prepared here for you guys. I have a combination of fresh blush pink peony petals, and also I have some white and slightly drier petals, and I'm going to pour this bowl at your specific pile. When I get there, you can also see a real peony, like a fresh one, one that has its petals intact. And yeah, I just thought I would create this beautiful background for you guys to inspire you, to make you feel like you're tapping into Venusian energy, the aesthetic energy inside of our hearts, inside all of us, that energy that wants us to feel loving and beautiful and abundant and filled with pleasure. So the choices that I have here for you today are actually two tiny cards, or more like it's stickers, that my sister attached to a very old letter I recently found out as I was rummaging through my paper stack. And I just thought that these are so sweet and so fitting. It's a black cat, white cat situation with some beautiful self-affirming affirmations. So we have here for group 1, you are important, you matter, boo, the white cat or the yellow cat. And then for group 2, we have, you are strong enough, okay, boo, you are strong enough. And as I was cutting these out and thinking about, well, the timing when my sister gave this to me, I think it was as a birthday present on a letter, which was really nice of her. I actually thought, hey, hang on a minute, this card actually looks quite familiar. And guess what? It's actually included in the Therapets Oracle. So this is an oracle deck that was kindly given to me as a gift by one of my crew members. I have a tarot and Amazon wish list linked down below if you want to go and have a look at some of the things that are placed there. Well, this Therapets Oracle has 2 cards inside of it, and lo and behold, this is it. You are important and you matter. It's exactly the same card. And the other one has been slightly adapted. It says you are strong, you are resilient, you will defeat this. So I have here the maxi versions of these mini cards for your viewing pleasure. Let me just pull the tassel a little bit higher up. There you go. So maybe you might prefer to have a look at the bigger cards rather than the smaller ones. I'm going to link the Therapets Oracle in the description box below in case you want to get it for yourself. I just want to give you all a great big hug. I love you, soul family. I'm so happy to be creating these readings for you, and I'm happy to take requests and suggestions and recommendations. If you guys would like me to create some tailor made readings for you guys, all of you, keep in mind that these should be general readings. So if your question is too specific, rather than say create a reading in which I would like to see what happens between me and my twin flame Jose, that's not really going to take place because I need to create something that could benefit the whole collective. So maybe a reading on the outcome of our twin flame relationship is a request that I truly can honor and sounds exciting enough for everybody else. So I hope this clarifies why I sometimes reject some of the recommendations, but I generally pay close attention to my subscribers and work hard to provide you with meaningful content here on the Spiritual Social. Okay, all this being said, let's jump straight into it. Let's find out your past life love story. Hey Group 1, welcome to your Peony Petals energy reading. This is for those of you that were drawn to either the mini or the maxi version of this cat who is letting you know that you are important and you matter. So let's jump straight into it. I'm going to pour the Peony Petals over here. Great. Let's find out, who were you in a past life and who were you in love with? What were the details of your past life love story? Okay, right off the bat, I'm seeing here a woman lifting up her skirt. I'm picking some sort of like medieval times energy. She is in some sort of an inn at the side of the road. She's sitting outside. There is a horse in the background and a barrel, and she's kind of playfully lifting up her skirt. I think it's because she doesn't want to get her feet in the mud, and she's smiling at a man that is coming towards her. I smell hay, and I also smell a lot of beer. Okay. So it could be that you were a simple person during medieval times, a person that could have met her lover at an inn, as the lover could have been a traveler. I feel like you guys had a very fun relationship with a lot of romps in the hay. I feel as well that you had very big hair. It was very beautiful and lush. You used to wear something to cover it up, like a scarf or a riding hood, or just something around your hair to kind of keep it in place. It was very voluminous and curly. You were very round cheeked. You look very healthy. Your body was very round as well. I'm also seeing here a spear. So this leaf to me speaks of a spear, a dagger maybe as well. I feel like there could have been some sort of brawl. Sorry, this is the old camera and the focus is not so great. Anyway, I'll just keep going forward with the messages because they're pouring in quite fast. So a spear, a dagger, a thief in the night. I feel like somebody could have created a bar fight at the inn. I feel like you were working there, or you were the daughter of the innkeeper. You were somebody. No, you were not the daughter. You were working. You were staff. You were staff, and you were woken up in the middle of the night by this person who either came in to stop and water the horses for the carriage, and then tried to take advantage of the barman, the bartender, the innkeeper, the person that was serving the drinks, and taking the money from the guests in order to house them for the night. And you were pretty fierce. You jumped into the fight, and you tried to defend the person and to take the thief down. I see that you were successful. I see here a star. I see that you were a person, whether you are a man or a woman in this incarnation. I'm seeing here the details of a common person, a woman, very sturdy, quite round, plump woman, who was working at this inn, a woman who was very passionate and full of life. A little bit like the star of the inn. I think that people were coming to this place because they knew of you. I feel like from time to time you would also sing there, or just entertain the guests with jokes. And I feel like you had a lot of suitors, because I'm trying to tap into a specific love story, but I'm kind of seeing glimpses of you either being held by other men, or kind of like wrapping your arms around the neck of a very sturdy man. That's what I see here. You were quite sweet. I feel like you were like the sweetheart of this place. For some reason, I kind of see you as this woman who was always held in the arms of other men. Like, men would always put their arms around you, or ask you to stay in their laps and tell them stories and kiss their necks or their cheeks. There was this atmosphere of, I kind of feel, I'm also getting the sense that this is how you grew up. I'm hearing orphan. So maybe you were orphaned and you were given into the care of the innkeeper and the innkeeper's family. And I kind of feel like this is how you grew up. You kind of learned to kind of give your love to a lot of people. You have very beautiful eyes as well. I'm seeing eyes here. I'm also seeing a lot of people watching you, but you were very fierce as well. You were not this kind of person that was taken advantage of. I feel like because you exuded this sense of lust for life and health, and you were theatrical and quite passionate. I'm kind of getting that in the past life you might have been a sun sign in Leo. You were very, very strong. There was this force field that you exuded, you know, and also quite entertaining. And people really like to hear you laugh and put on a show and wink at them and flirt with them and smile at them. I'm also getting, as an association, maybe you've heard of the vintage Hollywood actress Mae West. That's kind of the energy I'm seeing here. A woman with a big heart, but like a pretty dirty mouth. And a lot of lovers. Everybody was fawning over her, but she would kind of like just get the diamonds rather than the man, you know. In her own words, she was in the business of diamonds. Her career was diamonds. In your case, I don't think that your career was diamonds. Your career was being a people person, defending the inn because the inn was your family, the only family you knew, and being kind of like, because you lived on this inn and there were a lot of people coming in and out, a lot of travelers, I feel like you really wanted to experience life at its maximum, because I feel like you knew you were quite poor and you knew you couldn't travel the world. So it's kind of like the world came to you, right? Instead of you being out there going into the world and having adventures, because I feel like during those times it was frowned upon, even for poor women to do that. You were allowing people to come into your world. Wow, this is such a delicate thing. I'm seeing here delicate stockings. I'm seeing here as well. Let me just focus it. Some delicate stockings, some finery, some beautiful legs. I think we're jumping here into another story because this is a different person. Give me a second. Who is this individual? Oh my God, I hear La Dauphine, le Dauphin. Okay, I feel like we're jumping into a different territory. I think this could have been something French. And if I'm not mistaken, Dauphine or Dauphin were the children of the king at the royal court somewhere in the 18th, I think 18th century France, potentially before it became a republic, when it was still an empire, like a kingdom. I don't know, maybe you guys can lecture me down below regarding the specific historical details. I'm not a historian, I'm just telling you what I pick up on energetically. So like white stockings, incredibly white stockings with all sorts of frills and lace, almost like the feet of a ballerina, something very delicate and royal, noble, well kept, almost as if you weren't allowed to walk, like other people would carry you from place to place in order to not spoil the way you were dressed. You were almost like an object of worship and adoration and beauty, a work of art. Everything that you wore on yourself was a work of art, and it made for a pretty passive existence. I feel I'm kind of getting some flutters in my chest. You were easily startled. You could faint quite easily. You might have had some pulmonary problems. A very delicate, beautiful being. I'm kind of seeing blonde hair, curls. I'm also seeing somebody with like powder pink lips, like somebody almost like with the face of a child about 11 or 12, and this child is kind of wearing a lot of makeup and powder. Okay, this is really strange. Oh wow, woof. A very, very strong smell of iris and lilac. I feel like you were perfumed from head to toe, incredible smelling. Okay, and I'm seeing like somebody walking towards an aisle and a lot of other people staring at her. I feel like, okay, this is the contents of a second past lifetime, and I feel like you could have been a royal. So it feels like completely the opposite of what I was seeing in the first story. A royal, well-kept woman again. But in this case, you were basically a child if you were 11 or 12 years old. But that was the age of your marriage. You were married to somebody who is the same age as you. I'm also seeing a child, somebody that was kind of like 14. These are the numbers that are pouring in. And I feel like it was a royal wedding. I feel a lot of people around you, a lot of hands giving you things so that you don't have to reach. A lot of people putting bracelets on you, putting a crown on your head. A lot of people arranging your clothes, walking you down the aisle, staring at you. There was a lot of public scrutiny. So maybe in this incarnation, you have this feeling of constantly being watched, and you might not know where it comes from. I'm here to tell you that it comes from a past lifetime. Much like in the previous storyline, I could see somebody that had a lot of strength and was very fierce and very courageous. So I feel that if you encounter some of these themes in your current incarnation, these are memories of your past life. In terms of the love story, let me dive a little bit deeper, because I'm seeing here kind of like an absence of love, to be honest. I'm really diving deep. I'm trying to understand. In the first storyline that appeared here, I could see that you were an individual that really... hang on a minute. Yeah, that really attracted attention and admiration, but like you had relationships with people that would come in and out of your life, like the travelers at the inn. If you are currently stuck in some sort of pattern romantically, it might be related to that past life energy. While on the second one, it feels almost as if you were married politically, for political power, for prestige and status. But I'm kind of getting a sense that you barely saw your husband. Your husband was out there doing other things. I feel like you had a lot of... you were fascinated by books, by papers, papyrus as well. I see here a lot of documents, a lot of administrative work for some reason. You had to sign document upon document, potentially some political treaties, potentially the wages of other people. I feel like you were a person that was fascinated also by freedom. I see this as a bouquet of like angel wings, or like the wings of a person that wants to fly away, you know, like I want to just escape. Freedom was something that fascinated you. I feel that if in this current incarnation you find yourself falling in love with people and the connection feels bland, it feels boring, it feels suffocating to an extent, it's because in a past lifetime you were married for interest, you weren't married for love. And it was something you couldn't control because you had this royal status, and it was part of the job that you were born into, basically, to marry rich and wealthy as part of a political alliance. It wasn't a choice you could make. So I feel that in this incarnation you could run away from feeling suffocated by a boring connection in which everything seems good on paper, it's logical, it's okay, you guys fit together, all the boxes are ticked, you both have the same education, your families agreed to the connection, but you might lack passion. You might lack a sense of, where's my heart? I don't feel free in this. I don't feel excited. I don't feel loved or wanted. What am I doing? So it could be that there is a pattern here that you're reliving from a past lifetime. Some of you could have a south node in Libra. Others of you could have a south node in Leo as well. Yeah, and the ones previously with the in story, I'm getting a south node in Virgo, or a south node in Taurus. Let's see. Yeah, I see a crown. I see a crown. You are Queen Bee. Okay, my love. But there is something here about Neptune, Pisces, dissolving. This is your lifetime to fall truly in love, to truly understand the meaning of passionate romantic love that turns into unconditional selfless love, consummate love. You are truly brought here to experience a loving connection, to have somebody choose you, and for you to kind of guide and lead in this connection. Yeah, definitely. A North Node in Pisces, a person that truly needs to get in touch with the spiritual side in order to manifest love. What else do we have here? Oh my goodness. I feel like in this lifetime you are meant to have many children. You are meant to marry for love and have a lot of children, a lot of connections. You will meet a lot of people as well. You could be a North Node in Libra as well. Look at this. How gorgeous is that? You're meant to grow, to connect with the light. You could walk the path of the light worker as well. In this lifetime, you're meant to fall in love deeply, head over heels. Don't hold back. Wear your heart on your sleeve, because it will lead you to such beautiful places and it will help you grow so much. But you could have a fear of exploring the world. You could have a fear of people coming in and out of your life, a fear of being stuck in a loveless commitment, and you could react to these by being very forceful in personal connections and demanding that a person stick with you on one hand, and in the other hand you could react to a boring connection by constantly seeking your freedom, constantly pulling out of a commitment you made. So these two scenarios, because I see here two timelines, I feel like I'm reading here for a collective. One of you came here with one specific purpose, the other one with one specific purpose. I don't feel like these two lifetimes are a continuation of the same soul path. I feel like I'm reading here for two subgroups within the first group of the ones that were drawn to this You Are Important, You Matter card. And I feel I'm going to stop here because I'm not getting any other messages. Keep in mind that if you would like a past life reading in which I use tarot and oracle cards, I offer those as well. But if not, if this is where I leave you, I hope you have enjoyed this soft reading. I hope it relaxed you and made you feel excellent. Take great care of your beautiful heart, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah. Hey group 2, welcome to your reading. I need to tell you first of all that it was 4:44 when I press record on your reading, so already this is a blessed reading for you. This is a flower petal energy reading for those of you who are drawn to this mini You Are Strong Enough cat card, or the larger one, You Are Resilient, You Will Defeat This. So I can already pick up here the energy of a person that could have had quite a challenging past life. But let's see what messages pour in for you. Already I could pick up on the fact that as I was cleaning the space from group 1's energy, I wanted to leave these tiny little bits behind, because I feel here a sense of fragmentation, a person that needed to look behind her or him in a past life as they were leaving something painful. I am getting here the energy already without even the petals being on in front of us, but just for these small debris and bits. You claimed yourself, you claimed your sovereignty. I feel a lot of you might have been enslaved in a past life. You could have worked for powerful people that tended to abuse you, and you just walked out of it. You broke free, basically reclaiming your power. So let's see, what do the petals have to say now after these intuitive first hits? Let's see. I also want to do some clearing, so I have here my Tibetan singing bowl. Perfect. Because the energy is already quite heavy and we're talking about quite a heavy topic, I just needed to clean the energy up a little bit. So let's see. Our beautiful Peony Petals, what can you tell us about Group 2's past life energy? A strong, devoted individual, a person that had to walk through tunnels, that had to dig. Okay, I'm also hearing like they had to dig a grave for themselves and hide in it. A person that was running from persecutors and gathered strength and force and reclaimed their freedom. An individual that also could have broken out of the confines of a religious order. Because I see here somebody wearing that headscarf that, for example, Catholic nuns would wear, and other orders like Capuchin orders, I think, and a variety of other religious orders I'm not quite familiar with. I think Franciscan. And you see how beautifully pristine, pure white this petal is, with a little bit of pink inside of it. It's kind of like a desire to experience love, carnal love, physical love. Could have taken you out to do a completely reckless thing and leave behind a religious order. I have a feeling, again, I'm getting a feminine energy, a person that broke out of a religious order because she has fallen in love with somebody, like a person who was quite young at heart, not so young in age, but a person that was young at heart. I'm getting a baron, somebody that could have had some sort of title. And this person broke religious conventions in order to be together with their beloved. Oh, yes. Oof. Very passionate love affair. Very different than the energy that I saw for group 1. This is somebody who risked their career, their profession, their training, everything they knew in order to be together with their lover. And I'm picking here bits, look at this, bits of fuchsia in this wide sea of purity, bits of fuchsia, which talks about a lot of pleasure, a lot of physical points of culmination. This talks about you truly opening up and exploring your more sensual nature and having lots of moments of intimacy as kind of a runaway couple. I'm also getting as well, maybe you're attracted to the story of Bonnie and Clyde, maybe you're attracted to these stories of us against the world, rebellious people that risk a lot of things in this current incarnation, because I feel like in a past incarnation you actually lived out such a story. Oh, I also feel that you could have gotten pregnant, but unfortunately it was a stillborn, but it could have been a really beautiful gift from the divine. Some of you interpreted this failed blessing, basically this I don't even know how to put it into words. You saw it as a failed blessing. You saw the miscarriage as a failed blessing, and you took it personally upon yourself that it was God's way of punishing you for having deserted the religious confines, the order that you were part of. I kind of feel that nonetheless there was the opportunity. Did you guys try again? Wait, let me not just jump ahead. What is happening? Oh goodness, no, you didn't try again. I feel you died. Oh my god. I don't know why, but this to me looked like a bouquet of lilies, and lilies are usually flowers I associate with death. I said this in a previous reading and somebody commented that they are usually death flowers. It depends, I guess each culture has their own flowers for death. I also keep hearing a lot of doors smashing in your reading from my very loud neighbors. So there is something here about doors closing and kind of having to endure, or you believed you had to endure a very harsh destiny because of the reckless way in which you gave yourself in for love. But I don't think it was a punishment. I think it was just you taking on the blame for finally exploring your sensuality. You might go in this current incarnation through certain problems, certain hang-ups, certain moments when you want to push away the object of your desire. You want somebody very badly, they stimulate you, they drive you crazy, you're obsessed with them. But at the same time, because this past life fear comes back of you having risked it all for love and having gotten pregnant and then miscarried, all of that past pain turns into a fear of getting closer to somebody, a fear of allowing somebody in, a fear of truly giving yourself to somebody. So you could want somebody very badly in this incarnation, but then push them away or feel guilty for the desires that you have. Yeah, so this comes from this past life. Let's see. I'm also seeing here a Halloween pumpkin. For some reason this looks to me like a Halloween pumpkin. Okay. Oh, and I'm seeing, you see the sign of Aries. It's almost like I see the glyph of Aries. I'm seeing a man with chopping wood with a how do you call it, an axe? Sorry, I thought of hammer. With an axe, and he's looking at you very intently. It was raining outside, and there seems to be like this decor of Salem, like I would associate with houses in Salem, you know, those specific houses made out of that dark wood with the large barn. That's kind of the background I'm seeing here. I feel like there is somebody that could have actually wanted to harm you because they thought that there was something wrong with you. Let me just see a moment, please, because I'm getting like all sorts of messages from all parts. I feel like you could have been a person that, okay, yeah, you could have, you were a very attractive person. Again, I'm getting a sense of a woman, but I'm not getting what happened to this man. Who was this man? Was he your father? Was he somebody who wanted harm? Help me out, Spirit, a little bit. Wait. Okay, it's kind of hard to pierce through. Wow, group 2, the energy is pretty heavy. Oh no. I feel like you might have been SA'd by this person, and it led to you being convicted for it. Yeah, and considered a witch and burned on a, or like, I don't feel like you were burned. I feel like you were imprisoned. And gradually this took a toll on your mental health. I'm literally seeing a woman screaming. I'm sorry, but I'm seeing this heavy energy here, and I have to say it, yeah? So it's kind of like a Scarlet Letter, if you know the novel by Nathaniel Hawthorne, but it's not, like, I feel that this is with a teenager who was put in that position. Like, you were a teenager when this happened, unfortunately. And it was that man that was chopping wood, potentially somebody born in the sign of Aries, or just somebody who's quite violent. Yeah, somebody who's quite violent and jealous and wanted to destroy you. They believed that you were a witch, they abused you, and then you were incarcerated for what this man has done to you. So maybe stories of witches resonate with you. I'm guessing that you're very sensitive about stories of people being unfairly punished, women being tortured or SA'd. I'm getting a very strong indication here that it's a lot of purging that you need to do in this incarnation. Let me clear the air again. There could be fears regarding getting too close to a member of the same sex or the opposite sex, depending on which type of person you are attracted to. But there is definitely here something that needs to be purged on the sensual level. Physically, your body needs to go through some sort of energy change because of what happened to you in a past lifetime. God, it's like I wanted this to be about love stories, but it's these messages that are coming through, and believe me, I would make up stories for you instead of reading, but I have to tell you what I see. I'm also seeing here, okay, two things. The head of a jackal. So I'm kind of picking up on another timeline. You see, it's like a lot of stories that keep blending into one into another. You seem to be quite an old soul, group 2. I wanted to say this is the third story, so for a second I tripped on my counting numbers, signing things. Yeah, okay. What is coming through for me, it's like you worship the Egyptian god Thoth and Anubis in a previous lifetime, and I have a feeling that you here I'm getting the very strong energy of a man in Egypt in ancient times. You were using markings on a papyrus to record the money that was being transactioned, the pieces of stone, of wood, of food. I'm getting that also like the soft cheese that they would make. So you were a person that was kind of like an administrator, a trader, a merchant of some kind, but more like the accountant of, well, an old-fashioned accountant, I would guess. Kind of like the seneschal. If you guys know that, the seneschal in Ireland or in Celtic times, an administrator, basically the holder of the keys, the one that would count and revise and administer things. And you were a man, and I feel like you had all sorts of markings on your body and tattoos and You were wearing a cloak, and I feel like your eyes were painted in a specific way. You just looked very different than everyone around, and I think this came part and parcel with the job. This was an individual that basically your whole life was around control, numbering, parceling, organizing, making sure that how much was coming in was also going out. And I feel like you worked for a king, a pharaoh, a dynasty, and you had a very important position that came with a lot of prestige, and you really enjoyed doing your job. In terms of love, I feel like you were in love with a woman that was very thin, and she had alabaster skin, and I'm kind of getting the sense of a woman that was almost thin to the point of being emaciated. You had a family with her. I see here 3 children. Yeah, 3 children, but I feel like your wife gradually died of hunger. I don't know what was happening. It could be that she had stomach problems, she couldn't eat, she couldn't integrate the nourishment that was coming in, and I feel like you lost her. And it was something that deeply, deeply affected you, but you were not an individual that would show any emotion. It was just something that kind of happened to your heart like a sharp pain, and then you try to move on and pretend like nothing happened. I'm also seeing here a phoenix, a bird, and this tells me that you have a lot of soul purging to do in this lifetime. Yeah, and I'm kind of getting this, I'm sorry, maybe my voice is a little bit weird in your reading, but I'm getting like a lot of like kind of breathing, you know, and this is almost like the breathing of a person that holds a lot of energy inside, holds a lot of feelings, doesn't show anything, but is incredibly anxious due to the immense pressure that they put in on their shoulders. So it could be that you might repeat some of the things in this incarnation. Maybe you've been through some sort of abusive situations, and my heart goes out to you if this has happened, group 2. Maybe you're familiar with trauma, although we are all traumatized on some level because life is difficult to a large extent. I feel like you might have been quite traumatized quite a number of times, or there were some overlapping traumas that happened, and it could bring out this pattern of you turning to your reason above emotions, not showing people how you feel, not showing people that you should, you know, wear your heart on your sleeve and tell them, hey, I love you, hey, stay, hey, please, let's do this, you know. I feel like you hold that in, and you expect the other person to some extent to awaken those feelings inside of you. But I feel like your relationships in this reality will improve if you just open up a little bit in spite of all the pain that has happened. So I feel that it's because of these past lifetime energies. But remember that we began with the nun that risked everything to be with her lover before the 2 other timelines kind of entered into the reading. And different to group 1, I think that this is a continuation of the same soul pattern. So I don't think I'm reading here for 2 subgroups in one group. I feel like this is the energy of most of you that have chosen this group, and it's a continuation, the lifetime of the nun connected with the lifetime of the abused adolescent in potentially what was Salem, connected to the Egyptian scribe that lost his wife. So a sense of loss, a sense of love, intimacy, sensuality being dangerous and painful, but also something that you want with all your heart, and you would be able to risk your profession and risk everything. There are 2 opposing forces inside of you. There are 2 opposing forces inside of you, both equally strong, yeah? You could be a mutable sign, you could be a Sagittarius, you could be a flexible water sign, maybe a Pisces, or you could be an air sign, Gemini, flexible, mutable air, or maybe even a Virgo, but not so much. Maybe, I mean, I'm not getting such strong Virgo vibes, but you could have some Virgo energy in your chart, especially maybe Virgo North Node, because of this past life pain. Virgo South Node as well. There are 2 competing forces inside of you. One is the force of reason and control, and the other one is the force of passion and wanting to risk it all off, wanting to completely give in to your feelings and desires. And it is as a legacy of these 3 rather complicated past lifetime energies. I'm going to stop here. I hope that this helped in some way. I do apologize if it wasn't that blissfully romantic. I did my best, but these are the messages that poured out of me and through the realms of these petals here, such gorgeous peony petals. I hope that you enjoyed looking at them at least. Keep in mind that I do offer past life readings with tarot and oracle cards, and the second link in the description box takes you to how you can order and the range of my affordable options. But if this is where I leave you, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of my crew, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Take care. Bye.